everyone, my name's Fig and I'm sexy. Students endorsing comprehensive sex education. We're here to talk about safe sex.
No. Abstinence-only education is the only viable option.
Aw, shit, that's Puny Paul, the patriarchal preacher. He sucks.
Boo! Get out of here.
We're gonna start off with Safely Sensual Sadie, the swinger. She's gonna talk to you about safe sex, so listen up.
Hi everyone, I'm here to talk to you about STDs, contraception, and consent.
Woo!
Yay! So you've decided to have sex with someone. Congratulations, you're brave. Now the trick is to figure out a way to have sex in a way that isn't destructive to you or your partner. Remember that sex is a powerful thing, and although it can be very pleasurable, you need to be careful and make sure you aren't doing anything that you might regret in your future. Some means to make sure you're being careful are by using contraceptives. Okay. There are 4 types of commonly used contraceptives. The first kinds are barrier methods, which are condoms for both males and females.
Condoms? Giving kids condoms will make them sluts. I will not condone schools giving out condoms. School-age kids should not be having sex.
Get out of here.
Ah!
Diaphragms, which are small caps that fit on your cervix in conjunction with spermicide jelly. And dental dams, which are normally used for oral sex. They're placed over the vulva and anus. The second type of contraceptive is short-acting methods, which are birth control pills. The third type of contraceptive are long-acting methods, such as contraceptive injections, which are given once every 3 months, and the coil method, which is this device that's fitted inside the uterine cavity by a clinician and acts as a spermicide. And the last type of contraceptive is emergency contraception, such as Plan B, which disrupts ovulation and fertilization. Unfortunately, these methods won't 100% protect you from STDs. What are STDs? STDs are sexually transmitted diseases. Now, I'm sure everyone out there is scared of STDs. STDs can be treated. If you get an STD, it's not the end of the world. The most common STDs that affect the reproductive system are chlamydia and gonorrhea. There are other types of STDs, and they don't necessarily affect the reproductive system, such as vaginitis, hepatitis B, herpes, HIV/AIDS, and HPV. If you're diagnosed with an STD, have no fear, for there are treatments for these STDs. Some treatments are antibiotics, topical creams, and injections, but the best way to prevent STDs, not including abstinence, are contraceptives. Now, regardless of the relationship between people, consent is the most important part of sex. The dynamics of sex can become frightening for some, so you need to check in with your partner before you do anything you're unsure of. Besides non-consensual activities being against the law, the emotional consequences you can give your partner and yourself can last a lifetime. Ask before you do anything. Since there are so many ways of communicating, you also need to recognize nonverbal communication. Pay attention to their body language, and if something bad is happening, then you know you need to stop.
Woo!
And make sure your partner is okay. Ways that something bad can be happening are your partner's not responding to your touch, your partner's pushing you away, your partner's holding their arms around their body, your partner's turning away from you or hiding their face, or your partner is stiffening their muscles. If your partner is too out of it due to drugs or alcohol, do not have sex with them. I repeat, do not have sex with them. If they cannot give verbal, enthusiastic consent, then they do not want it. And if someone you are with is under any influence, you have every right to say that you do not want to do something. The most important thing to remember is no means no. No does not mean maybe later or yes. No means no. If your partner says stop, you stop. If your partner says I don't want to, you don't. And if your partner says not now, that means not now. No means no.
Woo! No means no!
No!
Remember, consent is the building block of a good and intimate relationship. Be safe, be sexy, and have fun.
Hi, y'all. I hope you just liked what you saw. Press pause now and start a group discussion about what you just learned. Next, we have Positive Penelope, the pleasurable prostitute, who's going to talk to you about pleasure, because sex feels good.
Yeah!
Sex isn't always about making babies. In fact, it's more probable that you will have sex for fun than you will for any other reason. Should this be the case, it is important that you know as much as you can about different routes to pleasure. Pleasure doesn't always mean an orgasm or ejaculation. If it felt good before, during, and after the act, then pleasure has been achieved. Sex positivity is the key to having pleasurable sex. If you want to save yourself for marriage, good for you. And if you choose to have sex before that, also good for you. Sex is a personal choice, not meant to be commented on by others. It is important to discuss personal sexual histories with potential sexual partners. But to judge their character based on those choices is silly. Words like slut, whore, prude, and skank are degrading terms meant to belittle your personal sex choices. These words should be avoided when referring to anyone but yourself.
Well, men like sex more. It's in their nature. And, well, if a girl enjoys sex, well, I'd say she's probably been around town, if you know what I mean.
Be gone! It's completely ridiculous to assume all members of a biological sex will behave the same way sexually. A person's sex drive is unique to them, regardless of gender identity or biological sex. Straight missionary sex between a man and a woman is what most people believe is the right way to having pleasurable sex. These individuals are sorely mistaken. All gender identities have the right to be attracted to whomever they wish. Some alternatives to vaginal sex are oral sex, that's with your mouth, anal sex, it's with your bum, dry sex, with your clothes on, masturbation, it's by yourself, and mutual masturbation, playing with a friend. These methods, when practiced safely, greatly reduce risks of STIs and pregnancy. Oscar, my husband, will talk to you next about the many more paths to sensual pleasure. As I mentioned before, ejaculation or an orgasm isn't always the goal of a sexual encounter, just as pregnancy isn't. But of course, there are tips for provoking that sort of reaction from your partner or partners. For those with a vagina before them, the clitoris and G-spot are generally key for producing an orgasm. Some can do it with just vaginal penetration. Don't be afraid to ask what feels good. For those working with a penis, explore the rectum a bit. The prostate gland can withstand some pressure that will enhance your orgasm. An uncircumcised penis will differ in sensitivity than a circumcised one. Make sure you talk to your partners about what they do and don't like. Consent is sexy. In my field of work, I get paid to sexually pleasure others. Although it's my job, I can still choose to have casual sex, a mono or polyamorous relationship, or no sex at all in my personal life. My husband respects my job and my sexual preferences, and I respect his. And no, I don't deserve any sort of sexual harassment because I'm involved with sex work. Nobody's sexual preferences are asking for harassment. So remember, it isn't your business how other people behave sexually unless you're considering allowing them to pleasure you. Communication, choice, and consent are key. Pleasure can be reached in a variety of ways with or without an orgasm. Every person has a sex drive and preference unique to them, and nobody deserves to be harassed about that.
Hi, y'all. I hope you just liked what you saw. Press pause now and start a group discussion about what you just learned.